So, my first video on the Switch done pretty well. Now, I mean pretty well, I'm a small kind of YouTuber, so over 2,000 views at this point. Good, it's good for me. In the background there's a bit of Rampart gameplay, mainly using hammer points to get a lot of kills, a lot of damage, so yeah, enjoy that. Today we're going to go over and kind of a follow-up video to the Switch video I did. This is going to be more tips after. I kind of did the first one was more how to play the game and who to use. This is more once you've gone into a game and you're dropping in, and that's where we're going to start. So we'll go straight into here. In the background it is on Xbox gameplay. I don't have a Switch, but I mean the game's the same. Bit less quality on Switch, but yeah, it is the same. So first of all, we'll start off with dropping in. So when you first get out of the dropship, or whatever you want to call it, you land. I mean, you fly, and the way that there's a lot of ways to do this. Different games have different ways of doing it. I think on Warzone, for example, you just fly straight down. You go as near as you can to the place you want to go, and then you just fly straight down, and that's the fastest way. On this game, it's a bit different. So here's some gameplay in the background that I'll mention while I'm talking about this. Now, this is me and just playing some ranked, and obviously we want to land over at water treatment at the time. It is now caustic treatment, but we wanted to land over there, so we look behind us, and that's my first tip. So always look where other teams are going. Now on this, we kind of just chose somewhere far away, and as you can see, we drop out and we just go on one steady arc, and then every now and again you dip down to get your speed back up, and then you go a bit further. So you can see the speed on the left there. I always try and keep it above 130. I'm not what other people do. I'm not sure what other people do, but that's kind of my thing. And once you get to 130, I dip down again, get the speed, and then level out again to go further. So that's the best way to fly far. And if you just want to fly down, like straight down, then obviously that's going to be the fastest way, is to just fly straight down. Now yeah, that's pretty much what dropping in comes to. So on the back end of dropping in, as you can see now, I am looting in this gameplay. Now I recommend learning a place where the loot pools are. Obviously I played this game a ridiculous amount, so I know pretty much every place that there's loot on the map. It takes a while to learn, but it's just something you want to make sure you land on loot rather than just in a doorway and you know that the loot's on the other side of the door, other side of the room, for example. You always want to land on the close side just in case someone is with you and you need to get in an early fight. In this case we're not, so it's just steady looting, but that is why I go back to that tip saying that you always need to see who's around you, make sure no one's landing with you, and if there is, you got to be quicker, and yeah, you got to panic a bit more basically. So my next kind of point in this video, I'm going for kind of 5 points, is weapons and looting. Now, obviously I mentioned looting when you land and stuff, but this is more about what you should pick up. Now, guns wise, there's a few guns in the game that are a lot more simple to use than other guns. You have the R301, the Alternator, which are both light guns, the Volt, which I have in my gameplay right now, and then snipers and shotguns are also quite simple to use due to the fact that they're one shot and they don't have recoil. Now, that's the guns I'd recommend trying to learn first and trying to aim to pick up early. There's a lot of other guns in the game like the R99 and the Wingman, for example. They're more skilled weapons. They're very good weapons if you can learn to be very good with them. And to be honest, the R99 does rinse through ammo if you can't aim with it. So there's that. Now, when you land, there's also obviously going to be shields and grenades and ammo everywhere. Now, I'd recommend picking up pretty much everything, and then it kind of depends on the situation, but most of the time just pick up everything you can and then go through it, sort it out as you run around. You never know what you might find or need for another weapon, attachment wise. Your teammates might need it, you just never know. So yeah, pick up everything, and especially a shield. As soon as you see a shield, I'd recommend just going for the shield. Now, shields are, a lot of people will say that guns are more important than shields, but in certain situations shields can actually make you survive rather than a gun. Like, you can get shot first for 100 easily. Now if you have 150, it can change the game. It can change the way that someone kills you or not, which means that, I mean, that could save the game for you in any way. So the next point is going to be movement. Movement in this game is absolutely key. Now, honestly, that you have some legends that kind of use movement a lot more than others. Like you have the Pathfinder, the Octane, the Wraith. They're very movement-based characters. They're not defensive characters. They're very movement-based. But the whole game overall does run very, very quickly. Now you can see from the gameplay that I do a lot of slides and jumps and things like that. Now I'm just going to take you over what's actually worth doing and what's not. So sliding and running and jumping, kind of combining them while running, is actually slightly quicker than not doing it. I'd always recommend sliding down hills and things like that. You'll see in this gameplay that I do kind of hop and slide around a lot, because it does just speed you up and it just feels cool, to be honest. But it does speed you up. It makes you feel like you're running quicker even if you're not, and I do think you are slightly anyway. I'd always recommend sliding when you are in a hill, on a hill or something. You need to get to the bottom of it. And also, you can run with your gun away. This is a big kind of point that people do. As you can see, I've got my hands out right now. The way that you do this is you hold down your switch weapon button instead of just pressing it to switch weapons, and you get your fists out. If you do have an heirloom, then your heirloom will show up here. I don't with Rampart because I don't have one yet, but yeah. So yeah, just a basic movement tip, and Another couple things is you can climb a lot of walls. Walls in this game are, I mean, once again, you'll learn this from playing a lot. A lot of the things that I'm saying you will learn from playing a lot, but it's just walls like this, for example, you can easily climb them, and ones even higher than that you can climb as well. So always try and take advantage of climbing, because a lot of people won't know what you can climb in this game. If you're Revenant, you can climb 3 times as high as the average person. Just a little side tip there. And the last thing I'll mention about movement is height often wins gunfights on this game. Now, if you're on top of a building and you're holding it and there's people coming underneath you, on most BRs and most shooters, to be honest, the height is the king. Always try and earn the height first, because that could be what sets apart the fight and you can get the early knock before they do. So yeah, height is a big deal in this game. That is why a lot of movement legends like Pathfinder, Octane, Horizon have a lot of abilities that can get them height. Gaining height is absolutely key in fights most of the time. So the next point is going to be healing. Now, healing you can call it however you want to. This is just like putting your medkits and your shields on. Now, obviously in the bottom left corner you have your shield, you have 100 standard health, and then you have your shield options. You have the white, the blue, the purple, and the red. Now these all vary in about, they start at 50 and they go up in 25 increments. But what this comes down to here is the different shield options that you have and heal options that you have to revive it. Now you have a few different things. You have syringes, medkits for the health, and medkits obviously the whole thing. Syringes do, I think, is a quarter or maybe a fifth of your health. But and then your shield cells, for example, do 1 bar, and what bats will fill up the whole bar regarding whatever you have left, kind of thing. They will fill the rest. So obviously shield bats are which are the big blue ones. They are the key thing to have. They are the thing that everyone tries to carry the most of, because obviously they're the most handy. You can get 1 shield bat off in the same time as you can get 2 little shields off. So always try and carry shield batteries if you can. Obviously in the gameplay right now is a good time for me to speak about this, because I am using them. Then you also have the Phoenix kit, which I have in the bottom left corner, as you can see, and that does your shields and your health. Now when it comes down to timing of this, if you get shot a lot and you have a slight kind of 2 seconds before they will get to you, don't panic about them coming to you, just try and get shields off. Now honestly, it can change a fight, and it has so many times for me. There is no... Obviously I'm almost going to die here. I have 2 Phoenixes, so instead of going in for that fight, I just back up. Now if I go in for that fight, I might win the fight, but what's going to happen if I have no health left after that fight? Some other team's going to shoot me from miles away and I die. Now that decision there just came from, I don't want to fight with no health. I want to have the most health I possibly can. And obviously I do pick up a kill there, a guy that was already downed, but yeah, it comes down to just being patient with it a lot of the time, and choosing the best time to heal, which is honestly as soon as you can, as soon as you have a spare few seconds. It only takes a few seconds to get one of these off, and yeah, it can make a big difference in any fight. One thing I will mention is that it's a bit of an advanced tip, but sometimes if you're in a building, for example, or a high loot area where there's a lot of stuff on the floor, it's a lot quicker to run away and just find a spare shield on the floor. And obviously you're moving very quickly, and you can find some extra health. Now sometimes the extra kind of a white or a blue shield, that extra 50 or 75 health, can also change a fight. Health is another key aspect. That's why it's in these tips, and obviously, yeah. So yeah, I recommend healing as soon as you can. So the final tip I have is about winning games. Now, obviously the key of any Battle Royale game or a BR is winning the game. Now, a lot of people go for kills. Obviously in this game, I'm being more kill based, because I started off with a lot of kills, I already have 9, and there's a lot of squads left. So obviously sometimes you do have to go for the kills, because it's more fun. But honestly, winning games is the key factor in games like this. Winning games is sometimes a bit... You have to play a bit boring to win games on Battle Royale games, and it just comes down to that. Warzone is very, very boring to me because of how much Apex I played. There's a lot of sitting around waiting, and honestly in Apex there's a lot of not doing that. So that is why I much prefer this game to Warzone. But yeah, another topic. On this game, you want to just, if you want to win games, you just want to try and play slowly. Now, play slowly as I mean that if you hear a fight, you don't really want to get involved in it unless you're, 1, very confident of winning it, or 2, you have a very good position to win it. Now, fighting outside of ring can be dangerous, because you never know how long a fight will last. I always recommend just trying to play ring, and for example, I'm on the edge of the ring right now on this one. Now, I wouldn't want to move from this position. Obviously I wouldn't want to go... I can go towards this team because they are also in the ring, and they're actually further into ring than I am. So that team, I'd be like, right, I can kill them quite easily. And yeah, but I wouldn't push. If this building was out of the ring, I wouldn't bother pushing them if I was going for the wins, because that would just be a stupid idea, to be honest, and it's probably not the best thing to do if you're going for wins. If you're going for kills, I'd recommend dropping hot on every place. Pretty much as soon as the ship spawns in, go straight down, you'll probably have a few other people that are going for kills as well, and you always find that the best players in that lobby are always the ones dropping hot. They will never go to the outskirts of the map, and that's just what it comes down to. They're confident in their game, and that is they're playing for kills rather than wins. Obviously they want to win as well, but the kills are more important to them, and they want to. It's the best way to get good. Now I don't want to say it like too weirdly like that, but if you want to get better and you want to have more gunfights, it's the best thing to do is have gunfights early in games. It also gets you ready to kind of play quickly if you need to, and on this game obviously I've been through this before, but there's a lot of quick based stuff and quick decisions that make a lot of things different in fights, and there's a lot of variables to it, but speed and being quick is a very, very important one. So there you have it. That was the 5 main beginner tips that I could think of. Now, obviously, there's millions of tips I could give you. There's more advanced ones, there's less advanced ones probably, but that was kind of the 5 most important things I have that based on your gameplay and how you play. Now, if you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, comment if you have any questions, and I might do some more of these. I mean, obviously, this game's 2 years old now to most people, but to new Switch players, and it's actually growing a lot in terms of kind of on Twitch, for example. It's got like over 100k average viewers now. It used to have more like 40, 50. So obviously it's still growing. It's mad that a game that's 2 years old is still growing as rapidly as this one is, and with new releases coming to Switch, and I think mobile at some point has actually been rumored, or it might have even been like told that it was coming out. But I might do some more of these just because as someone who's played it for a long time, I know a lot of things that could help other people out. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, guys. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out for now.